Hello, first graders. My name is Miss Hugan, and I'll be your teacher today. We are going to learn about addition problems and word problems and how to solve them. So let's start off. I want you guys to talk together. What do you think an addition word problem is? So how do they work? How do you solve them? Give you a little time to think about it, and then tell me.
Well, when we did addition in the beginning, it was like 1 plus 1, so it might be different things.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Most use different things, adding them into groups.
Yeah, it's a story, so maybe kind of like listening to a parents read a story.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so what do you think the definition to addition is? What do you think it means? Noel.
Putting things into groups.
Close, very close. Addition is when you put two different things and groupings together. So yeah, you're pretty much spot on. Okay, and then can either one of you tell me what a circle is?
We were talking about that maybe it had to do with math and putting stories together.
Good job. Yes, it is. It's simply just using a math problem and you use words to describe what's going on. So I am going to write up the steps that it takes to solve a story problem. Very simple. You have them on the sheet in front of you so you can kind of follow along right there. So how to teach strategy. The first step is you begin by reading the story problem. The second is you figure out what the problem is asking. The third, can one of you tell me what the third problem is?
The third one says, list the facts you know.
Good job. Noel, can you tell me what the second step is?
Get rid of extra information.
Good job. Okay, and then we can draw pictures or use manipulatives, which would be these little sheets right here, to help us solve. And then we will set up the equation and then solve. And I'll show you guys how to do that when I use an example of a story problem. So when I'm doing the story problem, just kind of follow along with those so you can kind of get an idea of what's going on. So I'm going to erase these since you have them in front of you. The first, I'm going to do a couple story problems on my own so you guys can kind of have an idea of how it works. And then we'll get to doing it together. So the first one is if I have 3 pencils and I grab 3 more pencils, how many pencils do I have in all? So if you look at those steps, what would be the first one?
Read the problem.
Can you read the problem for me real quick?
I have 3 pencils. I grab 3 more pencils. How many pencils do I have in all?
Awesome. And then what do you think the next step would be?
Figure out what the problem is asking.
Okay, so when you read this, do you find any part that seems like it's asking you a question? If you read through this, how many pencils do I have? Would be the question. So that's what we're trying to find. How many pencils do we have? And then the next part is to list the things we know, which we know that we have 3 pencils, and then we grab 3 more pencils. So that means that we have 3 pencils and 3 more pencils, and then we can either use pictures or we can use manipulatives. Right now I'm going to use pictures. So let's just say I have 3 pencils here, and we'll take 3 more pencils. Can you come up and count how many that is?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So what do you think your answer is?
6.
Good job. So we know we have 6 pencils. Are you kind of on track with me? Okay, let's try one more. Okay, another example would be if I have 5 pieces of gum. And Brianna gives me 4 more pieces of gum. How many do I have all together? So, at first I need to read the story problem, which I already did, and then I need to see what they're asking. Well, I know that they're asking by looking and seeing what the question is, how many pieces do I have all together? And then the next thing is I need to figure out the things that I know. I know that we have the 5 pieces of gum, and then Brianna gives me 4 more pieces. So then that tells us that it's 5 plus 4. And then once we write out our equation, we have 5 plus 4. Can anyone tell me what 5 plus 4 is? No.
9.
Good job. Okay, we'll do one more, and then we'll work together on them. And I'll have you guys tell me what should be underlined and what shouldn't be. So the last story problem I will show you is using counters, which would be these. Okay, so as I tell you how many counters I have, I want you to work together and separate them, and then have 2 different groups when I'm all done. Okay? So, if I have 9 bears, then I take 4 more from the pile. How many bears do I have? Good job. Okay, so that one pile has 9, correct? And this one has 4. So then we have 9 in one pile, 4 in another pile. If we add those together, how many does that give us?
10, 11, 12, 13.
Good job. 13. So we have 13 bears in all. Okay, the next story problem, I want you guys to explain to me what needs circled, what needs underlined, and then you can also use the bears to solve it if you need to. So, I want you guys to use these whiteboards to help you draw out the manipulatives. Okay. So, I'm going to write out the story problems up here. You guys don't have to write them down, but I just want you to, write down the numbers. You can write down shapes, whatever you want to help you through the story problem. So, if Anna has 4 squares, and Bill has 6 squares,